2 and 1. But speak thou the things which become it sound doctrine, that the aged women likewise, that they be in behavior, as become it holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of God be not blasphemed, chaste conversations. Whatever.
Okay, 36 and 25. Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled, and he that hath no wife will wander up and down mourning.
God, what does that mean to you? What, how do you understand that scripture? How can you explain that?
A hedge we know is protection.
Okay. So where no protection is, there the possession is spoiled, right?
I was just gonna say, to me, um, it's like the man is the head, the woman is the neck, and you need to have a solid base for your head to sit on.
Uh-huh.
You know, they always say that keep your head on a swivel. Well, the neck would be the swivel to help you make that swivel. And so I feel like when you have a second pair of eyes, that's going to be a part of your hedge of protection, outside of just being under the banner of the Most High. Um,
Uh,
that's what I get
so
from it.
our praises, sis. So you're saying, okay, so before we get too ahead, I just wanted to see what y'all had got off the rip just from that precept alone. So let's back up a little bit. And I like what you said. So again, like Deborah says, hedge is, so we just read from Sirach 36 and 25, Sister Tabana. And so hedge is a protection or a wall of defense, right?
Yes.
This is a wall of defense now. Let's paint this picture, right? A protection. Who do we know? Okay, so let's read let's go Deborah to Psalms 34 and verse 7.
Psalms 34, verse 7. The angel of the Lord and the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them.
And when we look at it, I don't know, like kind of first off with like I don't want to say with, a childlike mind, um, one would think, you know, like something that's surrounding you that's going to protect you from outside harm and elements and all this stuff, right? We see it on these shows. They teach us on survival shows and all this stuff. Like they have to build this, I think I might be saying it wrong, correct me, a boma. It's called a boma over there in Africa, where they build this up a hedge of thorns around them so the animals can, it might be called something else. Who watch survival shows? They like build up these thorn sticks all around them. I think it's called a boma, and it's protecting them from the laughing at me. So I'm saying it wrong then, but it protects the animals from coming in. Okay. But yeah, the angel of the Most High encamping around. I don't know why y'all laughing at me. If I'm wrong, let me know what it's called. Encamping around them that fear him. He's gonna protect them. He's gonna be their hedge for them. Okay. Only the ones that fear him. And don't everybody raise their hands at the same time now. But who had this hedge of protection around them? Okay.
Job.
That the most spot on, spot on, spot on. Not saying that somebody else didn't, but that was one of the top ones that I wanted to talk about. Okay. That's one of the top ones I wanted to talk about. Job, spot on, sis. Who that was, Sister Eliana?
Yeah.
Con. Come in swinging. I like how you don't be out for a while and then you come back with this sword. It sounds good. I like it.
I be in the
Con,
word, girl. I be in the word.
that's right. That's right. Daniel. Daniel was another one. Con, sis. Sister Shalome. Daniel was another one. The Most High put that protection around him. Why you think he did that? Why did he do that? Why would he put a protection around him?
Well, if you're thinking about Job, it said that he was a perfect man in the Yah sight. Another one I just came up thought about was Noah, because at that point in time, it said that and Noah was upright, and he basically was considered perfect to Yahweh at that time as well.
Con,
So it's almost like, without necessarily saying it in more detail, these men knew Yah and was walking perfectly.
con.
Whether
That's
you assume they knew him or not, but Yah saw that. Job, hey, if you he already knew. He was already doing the things he was supposed to do.
They also
exactly
were tried too. They also was tried. So them being tried, they needed that protection around them as well. Like take Job for instance. Hashatan went to the Most High. Was like, "Can I try your servant?" And he was like, "Go ahead, but don't kill
right.
him." So he had to put that hedge of protection around them because they were being tried as well.
Con. All praises to the Most High. Exactly. They knew God. They walked upright. So again, right? Back to Ecclesiasticus 36 and 25. Where no hedge is, the possession is spoiled. They were not spoiled. So again, let me not jump ahead, but Job, Daniel, Noah, we could name a few, right? They knew God, they walked upright. They did not let outside fair influences, anything tear down that hedge of protection. They did not walk outside of that protection. Okay. Somebody that don't want to be protected, okay, you can't protect somebody that don't want to be, you can't put a hedge around somebody that don't want to be protected. Okay. And we're going to tailor this back to us as women, as wives. Okay. Our head cannot protect us if we do not want to be protected. They cannot lead us if we don't want to be led. Right.
Hedges can be very high, but hedges can also be very low. And so when we do have a head or a hedge of protection, oftentimes they are looking in the high ground when we as helpmates or wives would be looking in the low ground to see things that are coming that they may have overlooked.
Mm.
Because we
Uh,
know that not only is Hashatan in the high places, but he's also in the low and dark places too. And
Khan,
so that's where we have to sharpen ourselves and be ready.
all praises. Hmm. Khan. Working together in unison, right? To keep this unit tightly knit. All praises to the Most High. I'm a Deborah. I don't know if you were holding Job 1 and 10, or can you get
Okay,
that,
Job 1
please?
and 10.
Khan.
1 and 10. Has not thou made an hedge about him and about his house and about all that he had on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land.
Khan. So we just brought that out. And again, please read your Bible so you can read the backstory. Okay. We're snipping through things this evening. But sisters, if you didn't read Job, this is where that the adversary Satan came up and was asking the Most High, was saying to the Most High, hey, you always put a hedge around him. You always protecting him and everything that he has, and he has all this increase, you know. So he's basically saying if you take that away from him, I bet he won't, praise you. Okay. I kind. I bet he
Huh?
won't do all of that. He only doing that because building him up and you keeping him protected. Right. This is what we're going about. So has not thou made a hedge about him? Again, this hedge was a defense. Okay. And it wasn't until the Most High took away his hand from him, he said, go ahead and do what you want. And that's why everything else was able to infiltrate and attack Job the way it is, okay, as fire being tried through these trials. Okay. It wasn't because he did anything wrong or bad. He was being, you know, tried. And so yes, that was the example there as far as that defense that the Most High will put around you once you doing exactly what he says. Not that you won't be tried at some point, but we know that again, back in Psalms 34 and 7, the angel of the Most High encampeth around those that fear him and keep his laws and statutes. Like you said earlier, these men, Job, Daniel, Noah, etc., they knew God and walked upright. Okay. All right. What does it mean to be spoiled?
To be taken.
Taken. That's shoosh. Taken. What do you mean taken?
Stolen. Thiefed.
Con, con, con.
Rotten.
Con.
To be
Ooh.
made unclean.
There you go. There you go. Con.
I'm
You
looking
know.
at disqualified by being marked in an improper way or otherwise marred or defaced.
Mm, mm. So spoil is not a good thing. It's what we gather, right? Because contrary to what the world like to say today, when we say, oh, your child is spoiled, oh, you spoiled him, we done made it a good thing now. And even talking about that, when you spoil your child, you read them really to be kind of rotten. I mean, there's the difference between giving your child things and all that stuff, but when you spoil them, that is not a good thing. We try to make it a good thing. But you could tell when somebody's spoiled. And you don't grow up now, you will spoil your whole life, wouldn't you? You always got everything you want. But the precept says spoil, and spoil, if you look it up in the dictionary, spoil is something that's rotten. Like this is what Deborah just said. It's rotten. It ain't good. Okay. It's to be plundered or corrupted. Okay. Somebody coming. Don't they say that too when they in the pirate ships and their booty that they got spoiled? Okay. They were plundered, they were taken. It was corrupt, it was overthrown, you know. All
Kind of
right.
just like
That
our
had
war,
huh?
just like in our battles. When in Leviticus, I think it's Leviticus, when it talks about if we're fighting someone and
Mm,
kill all of the
mm-hmm,
married women, keep all the young women who are unmarried, kill the children. They
mm-hmm.
killing everybody but whoever they decide that they think that they want a wife. So they're
Right,
putting her to shame, letting her mourn her family, and then either they keep her or they let her go.
right.
And so that's a sense of spoil because it's still a form of shame, and you
Yes,
were taken and basically stripped from what you used to
right.
know.
Mm. Stripped from what you used to know. Constant. Stripped. Let me write this. Stripped. Con. Made useless or weak. Con, because now that hedge, okay, the high hedge or the low hedge, it's kind of not there. You got little cracks in it, little seeps here and there. You know what I'm saying? Sister Sapari, I see you got it.
When it comes to the pirate analogy, when pirates spoil something, that means they have it in abundance. So now when the possession is spoiled, that means you have too much access to the possession
Ah,
to where now
ah.
you can overuse it and
Okay,
there's no
okay,
more value anymore
okay.
because
Oh,
you have a
okay,
whole bunch of it.
okay. I'm so glad you said that. Okay, okay. No more value. Okay. Thank you for correcting me in that. I see you, Sister Child. You got it.
And also to land back on what Sister Paria was also saying, another, just adding to that example, we just mentioned spoiling the child, right? How things turn rotten as far as a result of it can potentially turn rotten if you're spoiling with no like uh good customs to come out of that, no good lessons.
Mm-hmm.
When it is in abundance, right, it's no
Mm-hmm.
value to it. But if you're thinking about a person and this person is taken or this person is now being passed around, right? So that's the part that has no value. But because you have abundance of it and you're not considering sharing, right? A wealthy man, and they talk about the camel is easier to, go through the eye of a needle than a rich man or a wealthy man. It's because depending on who has all that wealth, if they're not using wisdom to give and to be charitable, they no longer place value on it. So it becomes spoiled because you're either giving it away or you're just keeping it there. You're being like a what's the
Mm,
word?
mm.
Um
You're being
being
passed around.
stingy,
Okay.
or you're passing it around.
Yes. Con.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of looking at my notes here, so please stop. Um you 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 took the words out of my mouth, sis. So Con, like both of y'all said, no more value. You devalued. What are some of the things that make us spoil? What are some of the things that make us spoil? Or what are some of the things, since we talk about the hedge, that will put a crack in the hedge or tear down that hedge of protection?
No correct.
Uh, uh,
Was that Amadebra?
I said no correction.
No correction. No correction or not taking the correction. Not
Right.
taking the correction. Okay. Right. Because remember, the adversary desires to sift. I know he was probably looking at Job like, how can I get through this hedge of protection? Let me find a way in. He run around that hedge like, gotta be a crack over here. It gotta be something down here. Maybe the neck ain't there. She ain't looking low. Maybe he ain't doing his job and looking high. Sister Saparia said, somebody gotta be off their game today. Let me find somebody. Okay. What are some of the things that would make us spoiled or break down that hedge? Who was Sister Saparia? Was that you with your hand up? And then Sister Jaya.
Can keeping in with the theme of the hedge, no maintenance. You need to landscape your hedge.
Mm. Carefully reevaluating, and what is it? Evaluating yourselves daily,
Yeah.
right? Making sure you lining up daily, dying daily, on the lookout. Like I said, a wise person, a wise man is, again, y'all, I be screwing this word up. Is it vigilant? It's vigilant, right? I mean, want to say vigilant for some, but I be mixing it with diligent. But you gotta be vigilant and diligent, right? Don't underestimate your adversary that he ain't out there trying to break in. You got to be ready. All praise to Sister Taparia. Chaya, you got it.
I got a couple different synonyms, but I think one that might work best is trying to let's try modesty. So here's what I mean by that. Here's one of the examples of having no restraint on yourself. So Sister Pryor mentioned like this, maintaining your head, and you said something about discipline. So this is the part where you have all of these lusts of the flesh. You don't know how to control. You don't know how to discipline yourself to kind of like
Hmm.
be meek and modest about that. Because if you have no restraint, you doing everything. Just like what we just mentioned, you have no value. You just out here listening and doing whatever. So modesty would be kind of like an example of
Con, con. These are all things that will tear down. And again, we want to be looking at ourselves. And I'm so glad Sister Taparia brought that out. And I love the way you think, um, is that careful maintenance. And we don't need to be caught slipping because we're not maintaining our spirits, maintaining our households, right? Being a place where we need to be so we could be that possession that is being protected and led. Um, Those are things, rebellion breaks down these walls of protection. Rebellion, that's what Israel did. We had a protection around us and we went left, straight left, up through these woods and 40 years in the wilderness what we didn't need to do. You see, and then he killed off a whole generation. You know, disobedience will put cracks into your foundation and in this hedge. When we disobedient to our heads, remember, if you are an unmarried sister, you should have a hedge of protection. You should have a head of protection. That should be your leadership, your elders who are righteously, right? Leading, righteously dividing this word and guiding you and leading because they're the ones close to the most high. God, man, woman, right? And for wives, we need to make sure that we in the position where we making sure that we ain't spoiled out here. We ain't disobedient. We don't have all this pride. And if we do, cut it out because guess there will be cracks in the foundation and that spoilage, good seepage gonna come up in there. Okay.
Of Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 8.
That was my next precept, sis. Go ahead and bring it out.
Okay. It says, he that diggeth a pit shall fall into it,
Mm.
and whoso breaketh a hedge, a serpent shall bite him.
You see that? That was right. That was the
Mhm.
nail on the head. The nail on the head, says Khan. He that diggeth a pit shall fall into which. If you do, like, come on, rebellion. We disobedient to our heads. Okay, pride. We know that comes before destruction. You know, we're not evaluating ourselves daily. We think, like Sister Shalome brought out a testimony, but we think that we good, we got it, we high minded, we on a high horse somewhere. No, sir, all of these things, you know, we have to humble ourselves and we have to know the order in which we are in. So if we step out of line, right, we step out into worldly things and we think we could have step. I'm gonna be half in the truth, half in the world, some days, whatever it is, whatever type of the day you feel like it. Because remember, honestly, sometimes the adversary might jump in, might hop on your back one day you get out of the spirit going down the road because somebody just swerved in front of you, or you at a stoplight, or the sister didn't deal right with you when you come out of the spirit. You know what I'm saying? So if we're not constantly checking ourselves, and that's why we do these things, because we have to be constantly evaluating and reevaluating and maintaining that righteousness inside of us. That's what part of the trial is. Not what we had a lesson. We had what we did, y'all. We didn't post it yet, but again, going back to what is set apart. It's not just set apart to put on your head wrap and your fringes. Set apart is how do you handle, right? How do you handle those times when that person do you wrong? Can you still have long suffering, right? How do you handle when you get angry? Okay? That person makes you angry. Do you sin? Because the Bible said be angry, but sin not, right? It's to have patience with one another. It says to forgive your brother. Not nah. That was the second time. That was the second time you then did this. I'm done with you. You know, mark them not cause division, but how do you handle these situations? And so again, if we have any of this in our hearts and our minds, if we have any of this going on in our households, right? Amongst Israel, this is how the hedge is broken down. If we're not serving the Most High God the way He says to do it, how is He going to build a hedge of protection around you? How is He going to build a protection around us? Because remember, Israel ain't one. When you do wrong, that's like a domino effect. It's like a domino effect. Because a lot of our sisters that don't correct each other, right? That's how it becomes a domino effect, right? Or you go in the sister house and she don't know that you committing adultery, and there you go sitting amongst the people and you keep, I don't know, but you bring in that division. How can the Most High says he's around those that fear him? When you're in the camp, when he's in your camp, two or three or more gathered, he's in the camp, but he's not there when there's uncleanliness. You see that? So how is he protect? Okay. So I want to get out these other precepts here. The water for that sis. Can we bring out Deborah if you don't mind? Isaiah 30 and 13.
Therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in an wall, high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant.
You see that? You see that? We're not gonna read the rest, but you should read the rest. Okay. Please read the rest. For time's sake, again, Isaiah 30 and 13. Therefore, this iniquity, okay, these things that we tend to do because we really don't fear the Most High, we really are not submissive to our heads, okay? We really ain't care what the elder really saying. I'm just here on the Sabbath day, you know? This iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall. This is this wall, this hedge of protection ready to fall now, okay? Swelling out in a high wall whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instance. Most High is not going to put a protection around us if we have any of this going on, if we're not obedient to our heads. This hedge of protection. That's who protects us, wives, single women. This is who protects you, your elders, okay? Wise counsel, your leadership, seeking the Most High God's face. So yes, y'all, we need the head. We need the Most High God. We need to be under his, we want to be under his protection. We need to be, or we're going to be spoiled. And we've already found out spoiled is not a good thing. Okay. So in order to have his protection, we need to make sure that we in full subjection. Okay. Right, Shalomé? Full. Okay, not half. Not half. It's not gonna work. It's not. Most High will put everything where it need to be, where it need to be, just like he did for Abigail. Just like he did for Abigail. Remember her hedge, her protection, right? Wasn't looking like Sister Sapaya said, he wasn't looking high when he was supposed to be, as an analogy for the story if you read it. He wasn't looking high when he was supposed to be, okay? All right. But the Most High still put a hedge of protection around Abigail because she stayed in the spirit. You see that? You see that? And he took that hedge of defense away from Nabal. He took it away from him. Okay. So just because somebody next to you might be shaky, you don't stay on shaker. No. Okay. No. If you in wife mode, stay in subjection. If you in, any role, stay true, stay firm, stay keeping these laws and statutes, stay, obedient, because anything other than that is going against, oh, Sister Chai, I see you. Going against what the Most High said we need to do. We can't protect you in those moments. You got it, sis.
Kind of, as soon as you mentioned that, I was like thinking about it too, and then I realized David was the same way because when we were talking about the negative part, Saul's character would have been it was disobedience, but I think it was somewhere in there as well as like somewhere in their pride, because now David has this hedge of protection against Saul because Saul's trying to get at him. He's jealous of him now, you know. And then of course you're mentioning Abigail. She had that hedge against David because you know what her husband was doing.
A fool, it says.
Right.
Con. Praises. You know, um, but I want to wrap it up with this because we talked about the hedge, we talked about the spoilage, but who is the possession? What is the possession? What is the possession, y'all?
Wisdom. The reason why I
Wisdom.
say wisdom is because if you have something, whatever it is, if you have something,
Mhm.
you either are going to know how to use it because of harder lessons, Like you learn the hard way, or you realize the value in it. So when Solomon was asking for wisdom above all things that he could have asked for, as far as being close to Yah, when it was time for judgment, when it was time for discernment, in his early days, reigning and watching his father reign till the end, wisdom is what kept him around pretty long and what gained his wealth, what increased his wealth and obeying his laws. You obey his laws, you gain wisdom because you're able to discern. So I think wisdom
God.
would be that.
Wisdom, so a possession of wisdom, but I like the way you worded that. And again, we're Ecclesiasticus 36:25, where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled. Okay. He that had no wife will wander up and down mourning. So we never even got to the second half of this verse. But it all goes together, y'all. But the possession is spoiled. Okay. All this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding went out the door. You see that? And so now you in the world, you reprobate, you know. But possession, y'all, valuables, and that's why I like what you said, to Kaya, because wisdom is valuable. You see that? But the possession, valuables, and it's belonging to someone, right? It's a heritage or inheritance. You see that? And what happened? What you bring up the precept, a heritage or inheritance, that was the possession that we had. And the Most High stripped it all away. You see that? We were then spoiled because we went away from the order, the rightful order of things, okay? And not checking ourselves, how he would have us to go. We said, no, Most High, we don't want the hedge. I want to see what's over there across the hedge, you know? And we went out find the cracks, all the cracks, to get to our idols, our other gods, everything else. Okay. Um, so Deuteronomy 32:29, I'm a Deborah.
Says, for the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance.
See that? We were his inheritance. We were his possession. Well, we didn't want his protection. We didn't want that wall of defense. We didn't want, you know, to follow his rules. You know how you in your daddy's house and I'm 18 now, I want to go see the world and forget everything you done told me, forgot this, fortress you done built for me where I was, safe. I had everything I needed. I want for nothing. You know, and then all of a sudden now you in the world and you're spoiled, rotten. Wisdom went out the window. You know right, but do wrong. That's not wisdom. you know, but possession, y'all. Remember when we were in Egypt? Remember when we were in Egypt? So when we're in Egypt, what do we leave with? What do we leave with?
The some jewelry, and some
Yes.
unleavened bread.
We, we left with their possessions. We left with their valuables. Okay. Yes, these tangible ones. We left with it. We robbed and spoiled them. You see that? You see that? Right after the Most High did what? Dismantle their infrastructure, dismantle their hedge that they thought they had with their idols. And he literally tore their idols to shreds. Look that up in the book. If you really go in, which each one of them plagues, he tore down each one of their idols, each one of their gods. He did with those plagues. Okay. See that? He tore down their hedge, spoiled their possessions. You see that? And that's the same thing he's going to do again in this second Exodus. For the ones, for the ones, for the ones that are obedient to their heads. For us sisters who are obedient to their heads in all righteous things. We can't have step. We don't want to be spoiled. We don't want to be passed around and bring it back to what you said earlier, Sister Kaya, passed around here and there. The Most High is jealous. Oh,
Statement about the spoils. You see how we left there with all of their spoils, and they use that word spoils, but it in turn it caused us to be rotten because look what we did with those spoils down the road.
you see that?
We
And I'm
used it
glad
to
you brought.
sin. So no matter how hard we try to make that word spoil good, it's never gonna be good. Because
No,
where was we going with all that gold
con,
and silks and jewelry? And where you going in
con,
the wilderness? Where you going? What are you doing with
con,
it? Nobody wants
con,
that.
con, in the wilderness to rebel. You see that? And that's
Right.
why
Because we
tangible
wanted food.
valuables,
We wanted the fish and the onions and the garlic and the bread and the but we
con,
took jewelry. We took jewelry.
con, con.
I digress.
So, Sister Tavana said we left with their mindset. Listen, it is not funny, but it's true. You see that, and that is what spoiled us because we didn't leave that generation did not leave there really deep rooted in you know trying to seek the Most High. That's why he had to get rid of that generation. They were just tired of being there, y'all. Okay, but they did not get that hedge of protection built back around them because they still had disobedience, they had pride, they had murmuring, all these things. You got it, Sister Kaya.
Okay, so when she said that, right? Okay, we talking about taking the spoils and acting like them, right? So as soon as she said that, you know what it made me think of? Okay, walk with me. Appropriation, cultural appropriation. That's what that was.
Mm-hmm.
We was over there trying to
Mm-hmm.
act like them, wearing their stuff. Now, granted, we follow me now. Now we mad nowadays that people steal our culture and look like and talk like us, right? That's still a negative, but we carried that, and y'all didn't want us to act and be. That's why he took us away. He said, "Hey,
Right. Right.
this is for a different reason why you taking their spoil. We're gonna use it for something else. We're gonna, whatever they was taking,
Mm,
we're probably gonna melt it down anyways and
mm,
build it as a tabernacle and try it like the metals, the golds, and the silvers and the gem. We was gonna redo that and sanctify it and clarify it and do all the things that we're supposed to do Levitically or sacrificially, right? But we just like, no, these are cute earrings. Let's just melt them down, build a calf. Let's put these shoes on and still walk around like this is what we was born with. So the whole idea
right.
of we created everything, that's a that's a hard thing to say because you really do need to know the origins and the context to why you even have that in your possession.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Con. Con. Exactly. Exactly. A mind, a mind well instructed. If somebody could find that precept, a mind well instructed, because we will quickly go left thinking that, oh, this is how I'm supposed to do it. No, lean not onto your own understanding. Read the book. It tells you exactly how to do it. I don't know if somebody had something else, but I think somebody had posted a precept in the chat. We could read that real quick before we close out. I think it was Proverbs 25 and 28.
He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without
Mm,
walls.
please drop the mic. Please. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. We don't need to say no more, y'all. The Most High has written it out for us. We don't have to do a whole lot. Well, the hedge of protection is beautiful. The hedge of protection is beautiful. Listen, we are his prized possession. The last time I checked, possessions are supposed to be protected. Okay? We don't want to be around here getting snatched up, hoodwinkled, and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? We better get in line. We better get in line, y'all. Okay, we need to get in line. Okay. And he that had no wife will wander up and down mourning. Okay. Again, going back to you can't be protected if you don't want to be led. Okay. You can't be led if you don't want to be protected. You see that? I love it. Sheila, Sister Sheila, man, you got I love it.
I'm gonna use this little kind of like little imagery if I can. My husband being the chef in the kitchen, okay, and I am his sous chef.
And
So things will not get done properly if the sous chef is not there to assist in cutting the
okay.
onions, doing the dishes, making the areas ready, whatever that might be, getting the plates ready, preparing the table, the having the napkins ready, and so on and so forth. Sometimes when he asks me for like, can you hand me the pepper or the olive oil, what have you, I say, yes, chef. I say, yes, chef. Because then I realize he is the one in charge. And he may giggle or what have you. And, we're giggling in the kitchen and we're making fun of it. But I'm like really going, yes, chef. Yes, chef. I
Right,
got you.
right.
Can you get me that butter? Can you get me the coconut milk? Yes, chef. Yes, chef. And then he's like, can you do the dishes? Yes, chef.
And
Yes, chef. But it doesn't work unless I'm
mhm,
not there to
mhm,
support as the
mhm.
sous chef,
Right.
and it just becomes rhythmic and musical and everything just sings beautifully when we're
Mhm.
in unison and the food just tastes so good and
And
everything just comes out great
and
because it's just working so well together. And I
mhm,
thought of that when they were talking about the maintenance of the hedge and thinking about, when you're looking down and up and making
mhm,
sure nothing's been missed, or if there's anything that needs to be put in place and so on and so forth. It's just, yes,
mhm.
like Sister Sophie said, this is a beautiful lesson. Very beautiful.
He that had no wife will wander up and down mourning. He that had no sous chef, hey, I don't know what you're gonna do. You're gonna cut these greens yourself. You know what I'm saying? What would we do? It says we Israel is the bride, the possession, right? Israel is the possession, the bride, the possession. Okay. And she needs her head.
Mm.
Okay. She needs her groom. You see that? A bride needs a groom. The groom needs a bride. Sister Chantel, you saying something to us?
I'm sorry, I was reading what Sister Shelman was saying to
No, I
myself.
ain't team.
Oh, Han, Han. Okay. He said, make a help meet like unto himself. But that's going deep. That's going, more in. We're bringing up more savory meats out of this, one little precept right here. But again, like it works together in harmony. Like, hope we can see all y'all again, same time, same place,
Same
same
place,
beauty.
same
Chase Mid is
beauty.
our
Duty,
Duty, duty.
so wait.
Shalom.
What?
Shalom, like
What?
Shalom.
la
I can't.